Millions of years ago, during the height of the Ice Age, enormous glaciers covered much of the Earth. The weather was freezing, food was becoming scarce, and animals from every corner of the land began migrating south in search of warmth and survival. Among the many creatures living in this frozen world were a lonely woolly mammoth named Manny, a cheerful but clumsy ground sloth named Sid, and a fierce saber-toothed tiger named Diego. Though they came from different worlds, fate would bring them together on an unforgettable adventure. Sid was an optimistic sloth who always found himself in trouble. His own family abandoned him during the migration because they were tired of his constant talking and awkward behavior. Alone and heartbroken, Sid wandered through the snowy landscape until he accidentally angered two bad-tempered rhinos. They chased him across the ice, determined to crush him. Just when Sid thought his life was over, a giant mammoth named Manny stepped in. With his enormous tusks and powerful size, Manny easily frightened the rhinos away. Manny preferred to travel alone and wanted nothing to do with Sid, but the talkative sloth refused to leave his side. Believing they were now friends, Sid happily followed the grumpy mammoth despite his complaints. Meanwhile, a tribe of humans was traveling with their newborn baby. Hidden nearby, Soto, the leader of a pack of saber-toothed tigers, planned an attack. Soto hated humans because hunters had killed many members of his pack. During the attack, the baby's father escaped, while the baby's mother fled with her child. She desperately ran through the snowy forest before reaching a river. The frightened mother jumped into the rushing water to escape the tigers. Though she survived the jump, she was badly injured. The current carried her downstream until she reached the place where Manny and Sid were walking. With the last of her strength, she placed her baby into Manny's care before quietly passing away. Sid immediately wanted to return the baby to its family. Manny argued that helping humans was not their problem, but Sid refused to abandon the helpless child. Reluctantly, Manny agreed to search for the humans. Soon they encountered Diego, a clever saber-toothed tiger. Diego pretended to be friendly and offered to guide them to the humans. Secretly, however, Soto had ordered Diego to bring both the baby and Manny into an ambush. Soto wanted revenge against the mammoth and intended to reclaim the human child. The unlikely trio began their dangerous journey across the frozen wilderness. At first, they could hardly stand one another. Sid never stopped talking, Manny remained cold and distant, and Diego quietly waited for the perfect moment to complete his mission. Still, the innocent baby laughed at Sid's silly tricks and enjoyed riding on Manny's broad back. Their adventure took them through breathtaking frozen landscapes. They crossed narrow ice bridges above deep valleys, escaped falling glaciers, and traveled through mysterious caves filled with ancient ice. In one cave, they discovered old cave paintings created by humans. The drawings showed mammoths being hunted. The paintings reminded Manny of his painful past. Years earlier, human hunters had attacked his family, killing his mate and young child. Since then, Manny had hidden his emotions behind a tough exterior, believing that caring about others would only lead to heartbreak. As the journey continued, Manny slowly became attached to the baby. He carefully protected the child from danger, carried him across difficult terrain, and even smiled whenever the baby laughed. Sid noticed the change and realized Manny's heart was slowly healing. The travelers eventually reached a giant ice playground where they accidentally slid down enormous frozen slopes. What began as a frightening accident became an exciting ride full of laughter and fun. For the first time, Manny, Sid, Diego, and the baby truly enjoyed themselves together. Their friendship grew stronger with every mile. Throughout the adventure, another small creature repeatedly appeared, a saber-toothed squirrel called Scrat. Scrat cared about only one thing, his precious acorn. Every attempt to bury it ended in disaster. He accidentally caused avalanches, cracked glaciers, and sent himself flying through the air. His endless bad luck added humor to the otherwise dangerous journey. Although Diego had originally planned to betray his companions, something unexpected happened. Spending time with Manny, Sid, and the baby changed him. He admired Manny's bravery, enjoyed Sid's kindness, and genuinely cared about protecting the child. For the first time in his life, friendship became more important than loyalty to Soto. Unable to hide the truth any longer, Diego confessed everything. He admitted that Soto had ordered him to lead them into a trap where the tiger pack would attack. Manny felt deeply betrayed and angrily confronted Diego. Sid was shocked and disappointed. Realizing he had broken their trust, Diego left the group. However, he warned them that Soto's pack was already nearby and preparing to strike. Eventually, Manny and Sid reached the human camp. Manny carefully carried the baby across a fallen tree and returned him to his grateful father. The humans were amazed that a wild mammoth had protected their child instead of harming him. The father embraced his son with tears of joy. Although the mission was complete, Manny felt unexpectedly empty. He had grown to love the child and found it difficult to say goodbye. Sid also felt emotional as they watched the humans disappear into the distance. Suddenly, Diego came racing back. He had escaped Soto after refusing to betray his new friends. Wounded and exhausted, he warned Manny and Sid that Soto and the rest of the tiger pack were coming to kill them. The final battle took place on a narrow rocky cliff surrounded by towering walls of ice. Soto attacked with incredible speed, while the other tigers surrounded Manny and Sid. Manny used his massive tusks to fight off several attackers at once. Sid cleverly distracted the tigers whenever he could. During the fierce battle, Diego threw himself in front of Soto to protect Manny. Soto slashed Diego badly, leaving him seriously injured. Furious at seeing his friend hurt, Manny charged with all his strength. He trapped Soto against sharp rocks, ending the tiger leader's attack forever. The surviving tigers fled, leaving the battlefield behind. Manny and Sid rushed to Diego's side, fearing he would die. After a tense moment, Diego slowly opened his eyes and smiled weakly. His survival filled his friends with relief and happiness. With spring finally arriving, the glacier slowly began to melt. Flowers started blooming, rivers flowed freely again, and animals returned to the land. Manny, Sid, and Diego realized they were no longer lonely travelers. They had become a true family, a herd built not by blood, but by friendship, courage, loyalty, and love. As they walked toward their next adventure together, Scrat finally managed to bury his acorn. He celebrated for only a second before the ice cracked beneath him once again, sending both Scrat and the acorn flying into another hilarious disaster. Thus ended the unforgettable journey of three unlikely friends whose courage, trust, and compassion changed all of their lives forever. Ice Age remains a heartwarming adventure that reminds us that true family is made through love, loyalty, and standing together in the face of danger.